Hi everyone, welcome to another live writing stream from me, Misha Gerrick, South African writer of young adult and adult epic and urban fantasy. I want to just say a shout out to everyone who is going to be watching live today, as well as anyone who watches this on, what do you call it? Just a rewatch later on when it's no longer live. So I just want to say everyone from now and into the future who is going to be, or who will be checking out today's stream. Yeah, I started so well, and now suddenly it just kind of like fell apart again. One day I will get it right. Today is apparently not going to be that day. Just also a quick shout out to Meadow, who was already waiting by the time that I scheduled this post. So hi Meadow, thanks so much for joining in, and I hope you will let me know what you're going to be doing today for this stream. Are you going to be editing or writing or just getting some other writing kind of things done? Yeah, on my end, I think I have a thing for my contract work, which is more my day job kind of stuff that I need to get done today. So I am going to work on that instead of my own writing. Usually I try to reserve this for myself, but I have a massively crazy week coming in. Basically, what I do at the moment for my contract work is that I am a contract, basically I'm contracted to handle the communications management for a reasonably big project in 5 countries. And I have to help launch a call for proposals to offer grant funding to 6 projects, basically, or not really projects, but 6 groups of entrepreneurs and just multidisciplinary organizations, basically, who have to work together towards a common goal. So I have to do that, but we have to launch on Wednesday. So I have a lot of stuff that I need to go through and make sure that it's okay to go out in public before anything happens. And I'm just feeling like if I don't work today, I'm going to get far behind. So unfortunately, I actually kind of have a rule about not working weekends, but sometimes I just have to. And it's definitely not helping that even if I wanted to try and beg people to move out the date a little bit, it won't really work because on Thursday and Friday, and also this weekend that is coming, not this one, the next one, I will be moving house. So this, ladies and gentlemen, will be the last time that this is going to be my backdrop. So unless something drastic happens that causes us to have to delay the move, but I'm pretty sure by the next time you see me online, I will not have this behind me anymore, which, yeah, I'm kind of sad, but also really excited because the other place is really nice. So I might, just while I'm now kind of on admin, I might also not stream next week because of the fact that I'm moving house. I'm expecting to have my internet online already by the time I get to the new place, but the fact of the matter is it's going to be a big move because we're a family of 4 adults, and actually we have another family who works for us and they're moving with us as well. So we're basically 2 families, about almost 9, I think we're 9 people if I count quickly, but yeah, somewhere around that. And yeah, lots of stuff to move because it's from one farm to another farm. So lots and lots and lots of stuff that we have to move. So I'm not going to promise that there will be a stream next week because honestly, I'm feeling like that's going to be just a bridge too far for me. Let me just quickly see. Ava's here. Hey Ava, welcome back. She says, sounds like I have a lot on my plate. Yeah, there's quite a lot at the moment. It's exciting. I'm loving doing this because one of the best things is that this is very this kind of call for proposals thing that I'm doing is very reliant on communications. So my ability to actually tell stories and to kind of bring things together in order to encourage people to apply is kind of where my skill set is really kicking in now. So it's nice for me to kind of have my hand on it and see it kind of taking shape under my guidance. I'm not the only person responsible, luckily, but I mean a lot of the implementation, a lot of the way that we are doing this has to do with a lot of decisions that I have to make from the communication side, because I can't really do my job if I don't really have like a lot of like influence in what's going on. So so it's really nice to actually do something like this where where it was a few weeks ago, it was just like a vague idea, and now it's really cementing into an actual thing. And so I'm really excited, but it is a lot. Just to give you an idea, at the moment, I've already finished editing one document, which is kind of a legally valid document, almost similar to a contract. I had to finish editing that. That was about 20 pages. Now I have another one of, I think it is 40 pages, something like that. So that's what I'm going to be working on tonight. Then I have a video that I did the script for. Luckily, we had someone else doing the actual like video design and stuff. But I still had to. I'm the person with the final decision on whether the video goes or not, and how it's supposed to look. All the graphic design stuff, again, I'm basically just managing all the contractors, and it's just so much, people. It's crazy. But I'm excited to see it done. So the one thing about it that it is nice is that if it is a launch on Wednesday, which so far it's looking like that's it, it's open. So once it's open, I have a lot less to do, although I still have a ton of stuff, but it's no longer that like rush for deadline. So that's going to be cool. Then Ava also asked, "Ooh, you guys found a house? Are you excited?" Yes. We found a very nice place, and it is it's not too far from here, but it is about, let me see, yeah, it's about 30 minutes drive away from where I'm living right now. So it is in another town, and also it's closer to the coast. So it's actually quite nice. And what is actually also nice about it is that I'm moving closer to a bigger town, where this one is just a little bit too far away for it to be of any use to me, whereas the place that I'm moving to now is so close to the bigger town that I can actually go do lessons in the evening if I want to go take something new, or resume my jiu-jitsu practice, whatever. All that kind of stuff is a lot more accessible to me now. So I'm excited about that aspect of it, is that I'm still going to have a farm, and I'm still going to be able to like be a little bit more isolated, which I do actually kind of prefer, because I don't really like living in towns where there are too many people like packed together. So I like my space around me. So that I still have, but then I still also have that like easy accessibility to new things and exciting things to do. And so that is really exciting. Also exciting to finally know what is going on, because it's been a bit of a stressful thing for me when we were notified that the contract would be terminated, so that they could. I don't even know why. I still don't really understand why they decided to terminate the contract. So I suppose it's not even my business. But that stress of trying to figure out where you want to go, or where you need to go, or finding a place, especially during COVID, there are very few places. So I feel really blessed that we actually found somewhere that we actually loved. So yeah, that part of it, super exciting. I'm really looking forward to having the move done as well, because everything just feels so chaotic. I think that's the better word for it, because on top of like my work, having all this stuff that I need to do, I also have a lot of like packing and preparation and all that stuff that's happening as well. And that part of it is a bit like, oh gosh, I just want it over. So so I'm looking forward for that to be over as well. And yeah, Ava also says, yes, Misha, moving is exhausting. I'd plan on the weekend off, to be honest. Don't drain yourself. Yeah, that's absolutely. I'm also thinking along those lines, because I just feel like if I'm just going to even leave the possibility open that I'm going to be streaming or doing anything in the weekend, it just feels like it's going to be you know, if I leave a possibility open and then decide no, I'm not going to do it, there's always like this element of almost like guilt. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a feeling of like, oh man, should I have done it? Did I let anyone down? Should I have done this? Should I not maybe just try to do it, even if it's going to totally exhaust me? So that's why I'm just kind of at this stage already just saying no. I'm just not going to. I'm not going to commit to anything whatsoever. Not even going to say that maybe I'm going to stream, because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to. Even if I make it, I'm going to be so busy with unpacking and who knows? I mean, it might also be that I need to handle communications for that launch as well as moving. So it is, yeah. Anyway, crazy times. And then Eva just also said temporary chaos, all these things to do that are stuck in transition. Yeah, absolutely. Right now, it's for me a big thing of like, should I pack this now? Should I pack this later? Because for me, it's almost like if you pack something into a box and you put that box into a stack and you put something else on top of it, it's almost like that thing is gone to you until you get to the place where you need to move to. So it's like a lot of my stuff I'm leaving almost to the last moment that I have to leave certain things, because it's just feeling like I'm going to need them the moment I put them into the box. So I'm actually kind of stressing, because that means that I'm going to have to do a lot of last minute packing. So I'm actually going to have to pack tomorrow. I'm going to have to make myself pack. Otherwise, I'm in for a mad week, and I really need to keep my stress levels down as far as possible. Is my new room as large? What is the new backdrop like? And yeah, well, okay, so it's a bit difficult to explain. I think it's more or less the same, but it's going to look smaller. And the reason for this is one big room with kind of like an open plan. Okay, you guys have to forgive me, because I'm going to have to do this at least once so that you guys can see the whole thing. So it's a lot. It's really messy, and I didn't make up my bed, so I'm asking forgiveness already in advance. There's my cat. So basically, this is like one massive room, and with like an open plan office that you guys have also seen in previous streams that I used as my backdrop as well. But the problem with the office is that it is, because of it being open plan, it's almost like on a mezzanine level next to the sitting room slash TV room. So the problem with that always was that I don't really need silence. I listen to music when I'm writing and editing and doing my work. The problem is there's a difference in my brain between music, non-silence, versus hearing my family's voice as they are talking about stuff or doing stuff or watching TV and so on. So I haven't really even been able to use my office fully for like months, because every time someone does something in the near area, I just kind of can't work there anymore. So the advantage now of the room or the place that I'm going to now is basically it's the same space in terms of surface area, but it is completely divided. It's basically the plan of it is almost that it's a flatlet of its own, and it's separate from the house with like it's part of the building, but it's got separating walls, so it's almost like a semi-detached building, and it has thick walls and stuff. So I'm going to be able to actually utilize the whole space for myself. And it is basically also divided. My bedroom is going to be a separate little room, and then I have a living area, and then I have an upstairs area, which is where I'm going to make like an office slash studio for myself, which I'm anticipating will be the backdrop. So it's going to be pretty. It's just not going to be as spacious as this, I don't think, but I will make sure that it will be at least interesting. But I'm thinking maybe with like bookshelves and nice lighting and stuff like that. So I think it's going to look nice, but it is going to be different. But I think I'm actually looking forward to this idea of having like my space divided, because just psychologically speaking, being able to say, okay, now I'm getting up, now I'm leaving, now I'm going downstairs and doing something else, it's going to be a really healthy thing for my brain, as opposed to now where I'm working and living and sleeping and basically doing everything in the same kind of space. So that is kind of something that I'm really looking forward to in the new area that I'm moving to, in the new in my new rooms. Yeah, just what I said earlier about like feeling like guilt the whole time if I wanted to stream but then didn't. So it's exactly that. It's like, did I just quit? Am I unreliable? Yeah, exactly. It's that feeling. I don't want to just like, I don't want to go there. They've also said, I have moved so much in my life, and you're right. Yeah, it's definitely, I've also moved quite a lot because it just feels like it's hard to explain, but basically life has thrown interesting curveballs my way. I'm kind of hoping that this move might be a last one for quite a while, so we'll have to see. But yeah, Eva just says, I like nothing else in my sleeping space. Yeah, honestly, I don't even know how that's going to be, like if I'm even going to be able to do it, but I'm actually purposefully making it so that my bedroom is actually the smallest space, so that I have like a sitting room area, living area kind of thing, and then also the office, kind of as an idea of forcing me out of my bedroom so that I just kind of just sleep in my room and not like, and I have like a whole other area that's more my sanctuary and my lifestyle place and all that kind of stuff, because otherwise I just feel it's going to be very stagnating, especially if I don't move around as much. But now I think also at the same time I'm going to be a lot more active, I suppose, in like getting involved like in the area because of the big town being nearby, assuming that COVID restrictions and COVID itself goes away. But we'll see. That's for future planning. But yeah, okay, so guys, I've been talking so much. I think the time has come for me to set up the first timer. So let me just delete this one thing so that it's nice and clean. I'm going to just as a quick recap for anyone who's going to watch this on playback later. That's the word I was looking for before, playback. So if anyone watches this on playback later, how these streams work is as follows. I start with a 5-minute sprint, and then for every sprint afterwards, I add 5 minutes until I get to a 25-minute or 30-minute sprint, and then I subtract 5 minutes again until I get to a 5-minute sprint, or until I run out of steam, which can sometimes happen. Or in this case, it might be because I'm freaking full because it's snowing outside. Not outside, but on the mountains close by. So yeah, So just in case anyone knows. Let's just see. Okay, I see Eva mentioned there's a big write-a-thon happening today, and those streams are running, so heads up. Yep, thanks for letting me know. I'm just going to do my stream anyway because it's kind of accountability so that I do the work instead of leaving it to tomorrow. But yeah, I appreciate you visiting, by the way. Okay, so with that in mind, let me just activate the share screen quickly. Right, so there we go. Let me rather do that one. Cool. All right, so I'm going to set up the timer and then I'm counting down. I will see you in 5 minutes. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. time's up. I'm not sure if anyone else is sprinting with me at the moment. So I think Ava mentioned that she's not going to be sprinting. So let me just check. But on my side, I did. Well, let me put it this way. I downloaded the file, I opened it, and I. No, why is this happening? Sorry. Internet's being weird again, it looks like. So let me just quickly check out the comments from Ava I didn't respond to before. So let's see. Looks like my internet is full of nonsense. Okay, I hope it's going to behave now. All right, so yeah, so Ava just also creating like spaces that are different spaces for different things. So she just also said, when we moved here, I took a room for an office so that the chaos that is my creative process can be behind a door. So for me too. Ava also said, if it's messy, I can deal with it separately. If it's neat, I can escape the chaos that is the rest of the house. Yeah, that makes sense. And she also, yeah, so she says for her sprints for now at least, she is doing laundry and vacuuming. And she can't write, but she will read during the sprints if she's not pulled away to do domestic things. Cool. All right. So that's yeah. Reading sounds so much fun right now. For me, anything kind of pulling my teeth out sounds kind of like fun at the moment in comparison to working, but luckily I like my job, just in case anyone ever wonders. I love my job. But it is, the thing about it is that this document that I'm working on has been through I think sorry, that was weird. Anyway, maybe it's just a trick of the eye. I just saw something move behind me. That was very creepy. Anyway, let's try that again. So my so the document, I love my job, but there are certain times when I just want things to be done. So I'm just hoping that this is now the last edit. But yeah. All right. So since I seem to be alone right now, I'm just going to jump straight back into the next sprint. So I'm going to set up the timer for 10 minutes. First. Okay, so I'm moving this up to 10 minutes. And then I will count down and I will see you guys at around 35 minutes past the hour. Actually, more 37 minutes. So not exactly a nice round number, but yeah, such is how it works sometimes. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And time's up. How did you guys do? Or what did you guys do? Because I'm seeing Meadow and Eva are both back. This internet thing is really getting me down right now. I hope it's better. Let's see. Sorry, it's just not working. All right. Meadow said, "Oh shoot, I was in a different tab and the stream didn't start playing until I came back. Dang it, YouTube." Yeah, that's it. I'll do something else, and then suddenly I'm like, "Oh goodness, stream! Why didn't it start?" And then it's like it paused until I actually opened the tab. And if you are still here, because there's only one person watching right now, do let me know what you're going to be working on, or if you are going to be joining us for any of the sprints today. So let me know. And then Ava says, here we go. I got the laundry swapped and grabbed my book and took random pictures of my cat because he's so cute. Oh, yay! Yeah. I also have my cat is also very cute and fluffy at the moment, but she is camera shy. So unless she like literally decides like live stream, then I have a tendency to then she has a tendency to not be camera shy. But if I actually try to take a picture or a video of her, then she's like, nope, I'm going to do my own thing. Thank you. Bye bye. Meadow is also back, so she said, let me just jump over there. I'm sorry. I'm literally struggling with Gremlins at the moment because it's like there's a delay between me clicking a button and it going through. So hopefully it gets better. Okay. So Meadow says I'm trying to edit. Ooh, nice. Or my sprints, maybe I should just say the correct thing. And then Ava says, I had to back up a chapter. It's been a long while since I've read, and I'm in the middle of a book. But now I'm beyond the story I've read and to page 260. Nice. And aiming to finish this book today. Nice job. That sounds awesome. Yeah, I just like as a random aside, I finished last weekend on Sunday. I finished critiquing a book that I've been promising to do for months now. So I also have like a sense of like, I did it. But it's actually, I have to say, one of my favorite books that I've ever critiqued because it was a sci book that a friend of, or a writing friend of mine at least, like a contact in my network. He wrote it, and it's completely like different from most other kind of sci-fi stuff I've been reading recently, and I really, really enjoyed it. So and it also actually featured a character who was on the spectrum. So that was also very interesting. And it was very interesting to see like how he interacted with the sci-fi world around him. So that was actually really cool. But yeah, I'm really glad I got around to reading that before I moved house, because I actually realized that I needed to finish reading that book. Otherwise, it was going to be really up in the air around when I would be able to finish that for him. Yeah, so hopefully now, once the move is done, I'll actually have more reading time. That would be nice. But yeah. Ava also says this is book 2 of the Ashport series by Stephanie Gillis, or known as Quirdy, and I'd like to finish this and book 3 before next weekend. Nice, nice. And then, oh goodness, my nerves. Suddenly it's like, So, and then my book is next on the list. So, oh my word. Well, I really hope you enjoy. But yeah, but it's nice. It's awesome to see you like supporting all the people in the AuthorTube community. It's really, really cool. But yeah, I hope you share your thoughts one day on some of your things. Although I know that puts people in a difficult situation, because I, like for me also, I do a lot of stuff like I will help with layout on occasion, and I will help with like editing, and I will help proofread, and I will help with beta reading, and I will help with almost anything, but I almost never do reviews because I always feel like I can't not be honest about something, but at the same time, it could be that I just didn't connect with the book, and then it just creates a situation. So I always say I'm willing to read a book for someone, but I'm not committing to sharing a review because I know how important reviews are to people, but I've also felt like that sting of having someone who was like a contact of mine in a network just give a bad review on a book that she didn't connect with. That was actually nothing wrong with the book, I still feel, because it had quite good reviews until she, sorry. Yeah, so she just kind of like torpedoed any momentum I had with a bad review. And instead of actually just sending me an email and saying, I'm sorry, I can't review this. So yeah, it's a difficult, it's a bit of a dilemma sometimes. So I don't really want to tell people to review my book because it's always like be careful of what you wish for kind of thing. But and also I don't want to put my friends into that situation where like, do I hurt their feelings or do I just like, because the thing is, I feel like my books are good. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say, oh, I think I suck. But it's also that thing of like, I don't want to put people in a situation where if they subjectively don't like my book for whatever reason, that they feel that they have to review it. So that's also the like difficult thing. Anyway, rambling aside, let me just get back to the comments. So so I like taking pictures of your book, so I gotta read it. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I like that you like taking pictures if you think it's that pretty, because I actually made that cover. So yay. I feel complimented now. And oh wait, jumped. Ava says, I can separate a reader review and an editor review. The stars reviews I leave will be reader based, and I'm optimistic. Don't fret. If I hate it, I'd not review it. Laugh at that. Cool, awesomeness. And then Eva also says the Amazon account I use has been stopped from reviews, so it's on my list to rectify that. I'm pretty sure shipping books out to an author flagged it. I sent several copies of the same book to the author of that book twice over, and so I imagine they don't think I'm a real person. Oh man, yeah, that probably did it. Because I know it's this whole thing of like, if you know this person, you're not supposed to review. But it's always been a bit like, well, guys, have you been part of the writing community? Because we send books to other writers to review them, but for them to be willing to review them, you have to kind of get them to get to know you so that they care enough about you as a person to want to review your book, to help you out by reviewing your book, so that the review is there by themselves. Yeah, I've never really quite that part. I feel like they didn't quite think that through. So yeah. Anyway, but I digress. Ava also says, yeah, I don't review either of those books on the Amazon account to ensure that it's not a conflict. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. But yeah, it's weird. For me, honestly, on my side, I like reviews because I do enjoy seeing when it's good. Let me put it that way. When I get nice reviews, I do enjoy seeing what other people enjoyed about the books. And it's also part of the reason why I kind of love the fact that some of my work is on Wattpad, because I love being able to interact with my readers. But it's also like, there is that part of it where the moment you kind of get too involved and too like precious about I think that's what on people, the pressures around like the reviews you're doing, then it's very can be a bit damaging to your self-confidence sometimes. But yeah, I and I also feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just something that I really need to work on anyways, to get more reviews, because I'm really bad about those. Really bad. I don't, yeah. For me, I've never, as a reader, even really cared about what other people say about books. So it's really been like a mindset to try and convince myself that I need to put time into asking people to review my book. Yeah. Ava also said, I've since set up a different account for my book usage, but I can't make it time until I make money. Laugh out loud. Oh yeah, definitely. No, but yeah, I hope you sort out that thing about not being able to do reviews, because I mean, if you like doing reviews, doesn't really maybe it doesn't matter that much, but if it's on your to-do list, then hopefully one day you can figure out what flagged you and how to like convince Amazon that you're a legit person. But yeah. All right, so let me set up the timer. Next sprint will be 15 minutes. So I'll see you guys a little past the top of the hour. Ava just saying, hopefully the pretty pictures will get you some reviews. Yes, that would be awesome. That would be very awesome. And jumped again. Oh, there's the other one I missed. My Bookstagram hasn't posted since June. I'm mostly just preparing images and stuff as a backlog, so when I relaunch it, I have a stash. Yep, I'm kind of following that similar kind of thinking. I want to get back to my like social networking at some stage, but before I do that, I have so much that I need to do first, and that is really actually such a pain in my neck at the moment, because it's just feeling a lot like how to put it, there are only so many hours in a day, and it's kind of like yeah, it's difficult for me to build up that like back catalog of stuff that I can just share on demand. Yeah, she also Ava also says yes, it's not the priority for now, it's a side thing I do for when I get to it. Makes sense. All right, I'm going to count down, and then I will see you guys at 5 minutes past the hour. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Time's up, guys. Let me know how you did. Let me see. Oh, hello. I don't think we've met before, so welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. Let me know what you will be working on today. Are you editing? Are you writing? Or are you trying to get some other tasks off your to-do list? Let me know all the interesting things. And yeah, what genre are you working on? All those fun things. I'm always curious. Okay, Ava says she's at page 272. Very nice. Let me see. I am a little under halfway through this document. So I'm actually I'm getting through it quite fast. I'm actually quite pleasantly surprised. So that's awesome. But yeah, so I think I might actually finish it before I finish the stream, which is awesome. But yeah, fortunately, it's looking like this might actually be the final draft, people. So like, yes, this is not a draw. Okay. Ava says, I cannot believe my son let me read that entire time, laugh out loud. He's growing up. Yeah, that's definitely, I mean, wow. That's definitely, from what I've heard about like kids that are at like that age, from what I've picked up from your previous comments, that's quite like an achievement. 15 whole minutes of letting his mom read. So Abigail says, thank you. I think I'm just going to finish reading a book today, but I am writing a fantasy series right now. Nice. I'm also working on a fantasy series, but for right now at the moment, I'm doing contract work as a communications manager. So yeah. But what book are you reading? Is it a published book, or are you reading for a critique partner? Let me know. I'm very curious, and I like to find out more about the people hanging out in my chat. So expect many questions, but you are also welcome to ignore questions you don't want to answer. All right, so let me just see, where was I? I have to say though, guys, I'm so super jealous of you guys reading tonight, because I really wish I was reading. The weather is like really cold, and it's actually going to snow tonight, not necessarily on the ground where we are, because I think we're a bit too close to sea level, but the mountains are all going to get like coating of snow at the top, so it's very pretty. But it's actually the ideal like cozy weather for like reading and curling up with a good book and with a cat. So I'm really regretting that is not what I'm doing tonight, but yeah, I'll get there. So Ava just says, the book of yours I have, i.e. mine, is book 1. How many are there? Okay, so in that series, there are currently 2 published. So I would recommend, or I generally recommend to people, that they try to get the 2 books as close together as possible, because the first book and the second book were actually written as 2 halves of the same whole. But you can read the one without, I think, feeling like I kind of like left things too open-ended. But it is nice to have both books in the end, but no pressure. But yeah, so that's basically the first 2 books, but I haven't published anything new in that series yet, except for like a kind of spin-off short story of a character in the second book. But I'm working on the third book. That's the one that I've been editing all year long now, which is the monster 300,000 word rough not rough draft manuscript that I'm editing at the moment. So that's basically where we are at. But the idea is that the entire series will eventually have like 6 books in it, and then maybe some like side books and a spin-off series possibly. We'll see. It depends on how much time I end up having. But for now, you'll only be able to get the first 2 books, and then I also have another series which only has the first book out. Second book is in draft, but that one won't get touched until this book that I'm currently editing, which is book 3, gets done. So that book is an urban fantasy about 2 types of immortals who are in a kind of like a eternal war between the 2 of them, but then one of them gets amnesia and she has to rely on her enemy to keep her safe. So it's kind of like a romance urban fantasy thing. So I really like that story. I really wish I could get to it, but that's a different series. But that's basically my oeuvre, if I may say so, and sound very pretentious. This is mainly at the moment I have 3 books, 2 in one series, 1 in another series, and a bunch of short stories out. Yeah. I hope that answers. That's a very long-winded answer of a very simple question. But yeah, so to answer your question, I see myself as I have 3 books out or 3 books in that series, but it's mainly because the one book is the one I'm working on and it's not available to the public yet. All right. Abigail says, it's a published book. It's called The Prince's Bargain. It's the 3rd of the Elves of Lesser series by K.M. Shea, a full-time self-published author. She's an inspiration of mine. Awesome, nice. And thanks so much for supporting self-published writers. That's always an awesome thing. I always say to people that supporting a self-published writer is actually so important because even just buying one book has a massive impact on a self-published writer because of the way that the royalties are structured. So it's awesome if you support them. Okay, so Abigail says, can I have a link to your books? I'd love to purchase them. Okay, yeah, I will, during the next sprint, I will quickly share a link. Then you can go check them out. And Ava says, I'll get book 2. I know me. If I don't read both back to back, I won't ever finish. It's the same with TV series, laugh out loud. Yeah, it's I find that with that, it's kind of like one of those, it's a long story about how it turned out that way. But I would have actually kind of liked to publish them together, and they were intended to be published together, but I couldn't get a publishing deal unless I split them because of the fact that it's young adult. And then they wanted to get the word count down to under 100K per book, and that first book that I actually submitted, which was the book 1 and 2 together, was 109,000 words. And then the problem was that I split the book up and then I restructured my book so that they could stand alone. And then when I got the rights to my book back again, massively long story, which is not a nice story. I basically just ended up where I'm like, well, I made decisions now for book 3 based on decisions I made in the restructuring of the first 2 books. So I can't really just put them back together again. So the idea is eventually, once I have like breathing space, I'm actually planning to put the books into like an omnibus where I put both halves into a kind of like a single book, and just as volume 1, volume 2, that people can read together if they wanted to ahead of reading book 3. But yeah, I would appreciate, I always appreciate if people buy my book. So thanks so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And then Abigail says 300,000 words. Oh my gosh, that is a beast. Kudos to you for writing it, not to mention editing it. That's incredible and must have been daunting. Yeah, the writing part wasn't as daunting because basically for me, writing is about, I write until a book is done. So for example, Endless, this other book I mentioned about the 2 types of immortals, blah, that's a novella for the first book. I wanted to write a novel, but then it got so tightly paced and everything worked so nicely in the drafting and edits that by the time I finished the revisions and edits to that book, I just realized that I couldn't really squash more things into the book in order to extend it because it would just have ruined that pacing. So I ended up just publishing it as a longish novella. So it's just under novel length, but it isn't quite a novel. But this, on the other hand, I tried so hard to keep it under 100,000 words that I actually split a book off into 2 again. But this time, knowing from experience, I did this during the actual drafting stages, And then I redrafted the first book completely from scratch with the idea of getting it under 100,000 words. But then I just kept realizing, no, I didn't address this thing. I didn't address this thing. I didn't, so it just adds up. It helps when it comes to 300,000 words. It helps that I have 5 main characters. So basically, if you think about it, each character basically then have their own like full story that's intertwined into this larger book. So that's why it's so long. But for me, it was actually really like a bit of a scary thing, is to think that, is this book so long because I'm just like spending too much time waffling, or is it actually serving a purpose? And then I realized, no, it is actually a full purpose, because I have at least, like I said, 5 characters, but I would say there are basically 4 or 5 storylines throughout that kind of get twined into each other into this big thing. So it does, I do feel like there's nothing really extraneous to that. And the writing was good, but the editing is a bit of a headache, because it's even, just to get someone to do like the critique partner thing where they're doing beta reading for me, it's actually hard to expect people to do this, because where most people, when they do like exchanges of books, they would give me like a 60,000 word book and expect that to be long. And I'm like, well, thank you, but my book is like 5 times that long. So yeah, how are we going to like make this trade? So yeah, I have awesome critique partners, so luckily they didn't mind, but it is like a thing where it's like that's challenging, and it is difficult also to keep track of everything when you're doing revisions and stuff, because I have like a good overview and I have a good thing in mind about what is happening in the story, and I think I'm quite sharp on continuity stuff. But for example, if I change anything during revisions, and now, for example, at the moment, I haven't been able to edit in a while. So the problem is that if I don't get back to editing like in the next 2 weeks or so, I basically have to go back and reread like 500 pages just to kind of pick up what I have changed already, so that I can make those changes consistent throughout the book. And that is the worst thing, because that's taking me forever. It's so much so that people actually ask me if I'm ever publishing the 3rd book, because of the fact that it's taken me so long. It's now 5 years that I've been working on this. But it's not just the fact that it's so long, it's also my life was in complete chaos for like 3 years out of those 5 years. So it's getting better, but it is a process, and because of all that, and on top of that, the book being so long, it is madly crazy sometimes to try and get this thing done. But I am optimistic. I'm like I'm now at the final third of my revisions, and I am carefully optimistic that if those revisions are done, I'm just going to need to do copy edits, because I think that book is really close to being finished. So it's feeling good, guys. Fingers crossed, but it's feeling good. Ava says, wrote down the title at Abigail Ford. I'm trying to read more indie, more than traditional. Yeah, that's cool. And Abigail also says she writes clean fantasy romance and clean fantasy lit RPG series under the name A.M. Soma. I recommend her books. It's always filled with humor and lightheartedness. And then Abigail also says, great, when I just want something fun and not too serious to read, And then she also said, I agree about supporting indie authors. I tend to enjoy the books more as they're always original and unique. Plus, it's always great to feel like you're supporting someone's dreams. And then Ava just said, yeah, the traditionally published are living their dreams too. I can just use the library for those ones. Yeah, true. Abigail also said, I love my library. It's been tough living without it as mine has been closed. Oh, that's so sad. And then Ava also mentioned ours has some options for curbside, but I've also avoided it. I have plenty of indie books to read at the moment. Yes, true. So many I wish I read as fast as I wanted to. Yeah, it's something I'm trying to do better for myself as well, where I'm trying to make at least like 30 minutes every day to read. But recently I haven't been able to do that. So especially after I finished reading that book for the critique partner, because I spent like 8 hours, like an 8 hour block to finish up the last half of that book. And yeah, so by this past week, I've been like, no, I'm not reading more. But hopefully, again, once the move is done, I will sort out my schedule again. I'm just being kind to myself. All right, so with that in mind, let me get back to the actual sprint. So I think we are now at 20 minutes. Yes. All right. So I'm going to set the timer, and I will see you guys at 20 to the hour and counting down, and I'll see you guys then. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And time's up. Let me know how you guys did. Let me just clean up my screen for a second so that it's not as cluttered. Let's see, comments. So Abigail just mentioned that her library just started a curbside about a week ago, but she too has so many books to read and got a Kindle Unlimited subscription about a month ago, so she has plenty to read, but it's always nice to visit the library. Definitely. And then I just quickly shared the links as I promised during the sprint. So yeah, it's here. I don't want to spend too much time on that because I'm assuming that everyone who cared about the links will find the links. So in the chat. And then let's see, Ava said another 4 pages before she got interrupted. She's going to have to go set up lunchtime and such in a minute. Food, yay! Nice. Food is always good. And then Abigail also said, finished reading a chapter. Nice. Yay. On my side, let me just update on my side. I'm still close to half. I ended up having to go back a few times. It's difficult to explain. Because of the fact that this is kind of like a legal document, I can't make it too informal, but I also don't want to make it so like legalese and academic ease that it's difficult for people to read the English. So I've been having to work particularly one single paragraph like 5 or 6 times to get it into like a readable, coherent shape where it makes sense to people. So that's what I did now. So hopefully the next sprint I will be able to say that, yay, I actually am now past halfway, because that would be nice. All right. With that in mind, I think let me just start tentatively setting up the next comments or the next timer. So we are almost halfway, because this is now one of the longer sprints. I think I'm going to do 2 25-minute sprints this time. So, oops, I always forget. Gosh, let's try that again. There we go. So the next sprint will be for 25 minutes. And yeah, goodness, time flies when you're having fun. So I think I'm assuming that Ava is going to disappear in the very near future, but hopefully she makes it back before the end of the sprint. We'll see. And then Abigail also just said, "Yay! I like longer sprints." Yeah, it's I also like longer ones, but for me, if I haven't written like for a few days, it's nice to have the way I'm doing it now, where I'm adding increments to it, because then it's not so intimidating to get started as it is when you think, oh gosh, 25 minutes of writing now. No, I can't do it. So so I like it. I like both, but I do prefer longer sprints once I'm on speed. But yeah, after this now, there's going to be this 25-minute sprint, then there will be another 25 minutes, and then I start subtracting 5 minutes, so that until I get to a 5-minute sprint. So that's basically how I work this stream, because it's a little bit different. But also for me, it's basically 7:45 p.m. in South Africa. So yeah, it's nice to kind of work my way up to a long sprint and then work my way down, because then I don't struggle to fall asleep. If I do a lot of like long sprints and then just stop at random, my brain just does not like that at all. So I kind of, it's almost like doing a warm up and then doing the full exercise and then just like kind of doing a stretch out and relaxing afterwards, so that I don't have like stiff muscles in the morning or something like that. It's almost that same thing, but it's my brain instead of actual exercise. Yeah, long story, and yeah, here I am. Okay, so I'm going to count down, and then I will see you guys at 10 minutes past the hour. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And time's up. How did you guys do? On my side, I think I'm officially on halfway, but this is a new piece of writing that another team member wrote in, so I had to proofread everything from scratch again. But yeah, so far so good. Just take these tabs off. Okay, so I am not 100% sure if anyone actually watched this sprint, so let me just quickly check if it's just my stream. Let's try that again. Whether or not it's my stream lagging or there we have it. Don't worry. Okay. Abigail said, I got something to drink and got another chapter read. Nicely done. And I think Ava said she's going to do food, so I'm assuming she's not going to comment just yet. All right, so sounds like we are getting a lot done. I think for my next sprint, I'm actually also going to go sneak away for a second and also getting something to drink because I'm feeling a little bit like all this talking has my mouth drying up a bit. So I should have brought a glass, but I keep forgetting that I should bring a glass of something to drink for my sprints. But yeah, all right. So with that in mind, I think I'm just going to jump straight into the next sprint. And then I will count down and see you guys in 25 minutes again. And yeah, not sure. Yeah, let's see. It's going to be around 20 minutes to the hour when we will be back. Okay. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And time's up. Let me know how you guys have been doing. Oops, wrong one. Let's try the other one. There we go. Here I am. Before the or during the sprint, Abigail also just said hydrating is important. Yes, definitely. So I got like a massive mug of tea we need to drink. I'm already through the tea, but it's about, I think this mug is 3 cups. So quite a lot of hydration right there, but it was a nice relief because it was nice and warm, and that made me feel nice and cozy while I was doing my edits. Ava mentioned I've gotten another 2 pages and lunchtime done. Nicely done. And catching my breath before the active hour after the resting half hour. Toddler activity levels helping me get into shape though. Nice. No, that sounds very, very, very intense, but also like a good way to spend your time. Abigail said, got distracted, whoops, not much to report. And she asked what kind of tea it was. It's actually it's a South African herbal tea. I don't know if you guys have tasted it before, but it's rooibos, which is basically like it's more actually a herb than actual tea, but it's very delicious. So, and very good for you. It's very rich in antioxidants and all kinds of interesting things, but it's kind of like a traditional thing for us to drink in South Africa, especially in this weather. So yeah. I have to say I like your username over there. Every day is Chris Evans's birthday. Yes, yes. But welcome. I don't think we've met before, so welcome to the stream and thanks for joining in. Just the question is, just joining in, how long are we going for? I think we have about, let me just quickly, let me just do a quick calculation here. We have about just short of an hour's worth of sprints left before I finish up for today. So the next sprint I'm going to do is a 20-minute one, then a 15-minute one, then a 10-minute one, and a 5-minute one. So in total, that's 50 minutes of sprints. But we also do a lot of chatting in between. So it's about probably going to be around another hour before we finish this stream. Abigail says, no, I haven't heard of it. I love how many teas there are. Always more to try. I wonder if I can find it here in the States. Yes, it's actually quite, it used to be quite like a very specialist thing overseas, but they have really been working hard to make it a more mainstream thing. So it should be available pretty much at least in any health store, but most supermarkets also carry. But I'll also just write it down so that you know how to spell it, because it sounds different to people who don't speak my mother tongue. So so that's basically the tea I was talking about, the rooibos, which is literally, it translates to red bush tea, because it's basically, it makes, if you boil it, the water has like a very reddish color, even more so than normal tea, because even if you like put milk into it, it's like almost like an orange kind of color rather than brown like normal tea would be. Abigail agrees with me on every day is Chris Evans's birthday. That is an awesome name. All right, so guys, I think I'm going to jump us straight into the next sprint. So let me just quickly do a quick setup here. All right, so next sprint is 20 minutes. There we go. So I'm going to count down, and then I will see you guys at around 5 minutes past, more or less, give or take. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And time's up. How did you guys do? Let me know. On my side, I finished. So now it's basically just writing some emails to let everyone know that I'm done. So that's awesome. I'm so happy because that was like a massive, massive mountain that has been lying in front of me. So that is very exciting. So now for the next few sprints, it's probably just going to be me sprinting, writing out emails. Yeah. Ava just mentioned, just as I was doing the sprint, I saw this message coming in saying, I peeped in just as you counted down. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. I hope you managed to peep in before I count down next time. Every day is Chris Evans's birthday. I'm just going to call you Chris for now, or you can suggest another name, because every day is Chris Evans's birthday. It's a little bit long for me to say every time. So for now, you're Chris to me. Just said I completed my first poetry exercise. Nice. Very nice, very nice. So are you doing, I'm just going to be writing some poetry today, or what kind of stuff do you write? I'm curious. Do let me know. Abigail says, yay, congratulations, that must feel wonderful. Yes, it does. Now the rest of my weekend is relatively free. And Abigail read another chapter, nicely done. And Chris is okay with me calling them Chris, so that's also good. All right, very cool. Goodness, cannot believe that I'm finally done with this thing, because it has only taken me like 2 months. Woohoo. Goodness, I'm almost like in shock at the moment to think that it is finally done. Whew. So Chris just also mentioned, yes, I write poetry. Nice. Right, so we now have a 15-minute sprint left, or not left, but that is now the next one that we will be doing. So third to last sprint. There we go. But yeah. Sorry, I'm just like, my brain is completely like, yay! At the moment. So I'm actually kind of like a little spacey at the moment, just from thinking that I don't have to stress out about this anymore. It's fantastic. It's like a new world. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to count down and jump us straight into the next sprint, because I'm kind of regretting it, because I would have liked to see Ava peeping in again before I jumped into the next sprint. But now, unfortunately, I don't want to hang around too much before we get into the next thing, because then these streams start feeling like they go on forever. So not for me necessarily, but I feel like for people who watch it. So I'm watching the time and I'm like, well, we've already been here for like a total of 3 hours and 7 minutes. So it does get a bit long if I talk too much nonsense in between. Although I do enjoy talking with you guys. So comments always welcome. Abigail just mentioned, I don't blame you or your brain. Such an amazing feel. I am so happy for you. Ah, thanks so much. I really, I'm so excited. Yay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to count us down and I will see you guys at around 25 minutes past the hour. So let me just do the count. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And time's up. Let me know how you guys are doing. Let's see. Ava just mentioned that she's got to run. She said she finished another chapter, and it's getting so exciting. Oh, it's a pity that you have to. I'm assuming you have to stop reading now, so because she said that I have to scurry away. But thanks so much for stopping by, Ava, and I always appreciate you. So thanks so much for stopping, and I hope you have a great week, or let's say next few weeks, 2 weeks, because I probably won't see you next weekend. But yeah, have fun. Let me just take the banner off. There we go. Abigail says, I didn't quite finish reading a chapter, but I also answered some messages, so that's good. Nice. On my side, I downloaded a video that I need to watch for that launch that I need to do to make sure that it looks right. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing for the next, I think if we have, let me just check. Yeah, the next 2 sprints, I will be watching this 3-minute video and finding comments and feedback. Hopefully not many, because this is the 4th draft. So I'm kind of hoping that I can watch it and call it done. So, but that's basically what I'm going to be doing. But so that's basically what I did for this sprint. Was I spent most of it waiting for the download to finish, and while I was doing this, I also checked in my messages for this program that I'm working for. I just checked my messages and comments and stuff to answer any queries about the launch. So I've also been answering some messages, but yeah, just kind of getting all these little things done. All right. Chris, are you still with us? Did you do anything? Let us know. We're always curious. All right. While I'm waiting for any further feedback, I am just going to start activating the timer again, or at least to get the timer ready for the next sprint. So that is going to be 10 minutes. This is our second to last sprint. Guys, wow. How do they say time's fun when you're having flies, or something like that, maybe? But yeah, this feels like it was just like recently that I said that we have 50 minutes left. Now we just have 15 minutes left. So, we are getting close to the end. Chris says they started another exercise. So, nice. Well done. All right. I'm going to count down, and then I will see you guys at around 25 minutes to the hour. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And time's up. How did you guys do? On my end, yeah, video's looking pretty good. So I critiqued 2 minutes out of the 3, but I'm only finding minor issues, which is fantastic because that means I might have it done by Monday. Woohoo! All right, so that's very, very exciting for me personally. But so I have probably, I'm going to take about the last sprint to finish the last minute of the video and to share comments and feedback. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my progress today. Let's see. Oh, Chris says I didn't finish the exercise, got distracted. That's too bad. But I hope you got distracted by something fun at least. But failing that, as long as I hope, otherwise failing that, I hope that you at least got some writing done. That would also be nice. All right. While I am waiting for more feedback, I'm just going to start prepping the final sprint. So yeah, we're officially here, guys. 5 minutes. Right. I'm not sure what's happened to Abigail. Maybe she got a little distracted again, which is possible. Okay, so I think I am going to be a little bit evil and just jump us into the final sprint, because then I can finish up for the night. And it is 20 to 10 at night at my place. So if I'm starting to sound a little bit like I'm like, it's probably because it is kind of coming to the point where my brain is starting to tell me it's time for sleep. So I don't know why. What's going on? I think. Oh no, I remember. Ava and I got to talking earlier in the earlier in the stream. Ava and Abigail and I were talking about the new house I am moving to, and it actually took a bit of time. So that's probably why my stream is almost an hour longer than it usually is. But it was fun. I really enjoy chatting with you guys, actually, like way too much, but it's fun. I really enjoy like interacting with people on the stream. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything coming in from Abigail just yet, so I'm just going to jump into the next sprint, and if she replies during the sprint, I will just read back once the sprint is completed. All right, so counting down. Oh, wait, there she is. Just as I was about to count down, I got the message. So, dang you, StreamYard, for lagging the chat. That is definitely a thing. All right, so Abigail said, I got sour cherry, tea, and some water. Nice. And she also said, it's been fun to talk with you and to get to know you. Yeah, absolutely. Likewise. I really enjoyed getting to know you a little bit as well. Okay, so now we are really counting down. So I will see you guys at about quarter to the hour, give or take a minute or two. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, guys, that was it. We are finished with the final sprint. So thanks to everyone who's been sticking around. Let me know how you guys did. I went through the video once, and now I'm going through it again to make sure that there isn't anything outstanding that I missed before, but I'm pretty happy with it. So only 2 or 3 minor changes that need to be made. Yay, I'm so excited. Now this thing is really starting to feel real, because now we are at the stage where I can actually share this with the outside world. And yeah, exciting times. While I'm waiting for feedback from you guys, I'm just going to quickly do the whole spiel. If you haven't yet, please do hit subscribe to my channel and hit like if you enjoyed this video and enjoyed sprinting with me, so that we can please the algorithm gods, so that I can get more suggestions and stuff like that into the YouTube channels and stuff when other people are watching, like, or also watched and stuff like that. So I'd really appreciate that. And also do hit the notification bell if you guys want to be notified on any further uploads or streams or anything like that, if you would like to tune in again in the future. And finally, just a heads up, usually I do stream weekly. In other words, every Saturday starting 6 p.m. South African time / GMT +2. But at the moment, I am busy moving house as we speak. So well, not literally as we speak, but basically I'm busy preparing to move house, and the move date is next week, Thursday, starting next week, Thursday. So it's going to be Thursday and Friday, and I'm assuming right into the weekend. So I'm not going to be streaming next week, but you can basically expect me to be back online again, probably the week after that. Yeah, keep an eye on my Facebook channel, which is facebook.com/MishaGarrick, or my Twitter profile, which is at mgarrick1. So let me just write that down. Let me just do that quickly. So Misha Garrick for Facebook, that's my Facebook page, and mgarrick1. And yeah, I also have Misha Garrick Instagram, but basically just keep an eye on my social media, and I will share if there is anything that prevents me from doing a stream. Otherwise, I will just be back online the usual time, and hopefully YouTube's notification settings work the way they're supposed to, and you will be informed as long as you subscribe to my channel. So other than that, let's just quickly read some comments. Let's see. Okay, Abigail says, I got some reading done and some YouTube scheduling stuff done. Yay! I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. Thank you for the stream. It's been so fun. And thanks so much for joining. I really enjoyed hanging out with you for pretty much 4 hours. So that was, yay, a marathon session between the two of us. But I'm glad you got so much done and so much reading. And also Abigail just laughing at my algorithm gods comment. And Chris says, this was cool. Thanks for having me. And again, thanks so much for joining. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you again in the very near future. And all the best with your poetry writing. Abigail says, I will keep in mind about you streaming every Saturday and keep an eye out for your streams in the future. Thank you so much. And Abigail just mentioned that she followed me on Instagram. So yeah, thanks so much. I have been very bad about social media lately, but I am planning to get back onto Instagram as soon as I basically settle down. I will start being a bit more active. But really the thing is just sorting out my communications plan. It's literally my job. I do this like for my contracts and stuff to put food on the table. So it's actually something I know how to do. It's just to sit down and do it for myself. It's almost that whole thing about like the electrician's family is always the one who doesn't have power in the house. Yeah, it's kind of that same thing, but for me. But I will figure it out. And Abigail just asked, was it really 4 hours? It flew by, such fun. And also said, I'm also terrible about social media, so no worries. Oh, okay. So yeah, it was definitely 4 hours. I'm actually just checking it out, and I'm like, yep, definitely it's 3 hours and pretty much 53 minutes. So yep, this has been a big stream. But I really enjoyed it, guys, and I hope to see you all real soon. Stay safe. Keep yourselves healthy as far as possible. I hope you guys are productive for the next 2 weeks until I am back, and that you guys have a good time, and that we see each other real soon. But thanks again so much for keeping me company and for hanging out as I got through all this work. It was really great to have some company doing this. And talk to you all soon. Love you all.